8:26, it's 4th of July weekend. Might not look like years past, but many of us will still be celebrating the same way by cooking food out on the grill.
But before you head to a potluck, we need to take some steps to protect our health and others. Joining us with some safety tips this morning is Dr. Liam Sullivan with Spectrum Health Infectious Diseases. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning to you too.
Yeah, so first off, let's start. If you're going to be the one who's hosting a gathering, maybe at your home and stuff, what should you keep in mind?
I think we want to keep in mind a couple of things is one, try to keep it small. I mean, don't have a huge crowd of people, ideally 10 or less, amongst people, friends and family that you trust that are been practicing good safety tips, et cetera. And, try to keep your distance. And if you can be outside, that's the best place to be because, you're outside, the air is flowing better. You don't have to worry about sharing air so much as you would inside. So those are some of the tips. And if you're going to bring food, ideally bring your own food. But if you're going to share food, you might want to consider having one person be the server so you don't have common touch points amongst the utensils, or have people get their own food with their own utensils.
Yeah, Dr. Sullivan, that was one of the things I wanted to ask you, especially when you have these gatherings out by the lake and people bring a bunch of food and you got hands in and out of all the different dishes. Yeah. What's your recommendation on that? And can you really, can you transfer or spread the virus that way?
Well, the food itself won't transfer the virus because this virus is not a foodborne virus. But when you have, let's say you're having a bunch of food there and you have a common touch point of the serving utensils and people are touching them over and over again and they get contaminated by somebody who's potentially carrying the virus, and then you start putting your hands in your face, that potentially could transmit the virus. So it's best to have either one person doing all the serving, or people bringing their own food, or people serving themselves with their own utensils, and then also having hand sanitizer available for people to wash their hands when needed.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, in light of the governor kind of closing in service with these bars, what about folks who are still thinking about visiting restaurants or maybe getting takeout? What can you offer?
I think that if you can get takeout, that's probably the best thing to do. Visiting a restaurant is still, if you want to do it, I would recommend going to a restaurant where you can sit outdoors. Obviously everybody wants to visit a restaurant. Sitting indoors is going to be higher risk than sitting outdoors. So that would be my main recommendation. And obviously the governor shut down all the bars in the big part of the state right now, except if they're offering outdoor service. So keep that in mind. So outdoors is always better.
Yeah.
And also, even if you're just gathering 10, maybe 15 to 20 people, do you recommend having masks, even if you're familiar with the people who you're hanging out with?
I think if you're with people that you know very well and have been very safe in their practices, and you can maintain social distance of 6 or more feet apart from one another, you probably don't need to wear masks. But if you're going to be inside, you're going to be more crowded, and you have people there that maybe you don't know or been practicing safely, then I think it would be a good idea to have masks. Having them handy is a good idea anyway, just in case you have to go inside or everybody has to crowd together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good information.
All right, thank you so much for joining us this morning.